Reserve time.
What?
No,
there's
the sentry ward above
There's two
us.
sentries. There's two
Oh
dire
yeah,
sentries.
it's the 2 dire sentries. I'm like, why have you got 2 dire sentries in the same area? Good fissure on top. Mag, this is a horrible position for him. Spycraft's buying him a little bit of space. Seneko body blocking him in, and Mag will be the first blood there. So even though Seneko attack once, stun, follow up, Artstars dead, Seneko, the vision will come, but it's very, very late. Trying to get in range of the Echo Center, but Vorce is on the way in. There's your Echo Center control of Solo, and Mag actually isolated out so far that he was able to be fully omni-slashed up into the trees. Solo will get sliced, and the Juggernaut of Vorce able to pick up direction if Vega's not careful.
Structures are fortified.
I'm not saying like Vega is out of this game because they've still got a lot of farm on the Jara as well as the SF. They've got a lot to work with. But right now, mentally, they're cracking. They're being picked off in so many locations in every single part of the map. From bottom, but is it really worth your life?
That's a lot. Tranquil are a lot of
Middle
gold.
tower is under
I don't
attack.
know. It's like almost 1,000 gold.
It's actually exactly 1,000
gold.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
It's a lot of money, Toby.
KB from a Vorce just walks into the storm. He needs to get back out the other side before it wears off, and he'll be able to do so. End up just walking through, killing off the Dazzle, the Shadow Strike. It will disjoint. The Scream off target, and Nyx Assassin is away. A little bit further over towards the west. That's where Solid's going to get mopped up by a Vorce, so a double kill for him. And Vorce, well, BKBs. He's doing Omni-Slash, but he's pretty close to the creep wave, so he wants to go further away, and now he can just go to work. Bounce it around, and then, well, Requiem doesn't really do that much. SF, the Shallow Grave might keep him alive a little bit longer, and Vorce gets traded for this until Denny arrives with a Sonic Wave. The Beastmaster is the man to kill off Seema, as then he blinked himself away to safety. And Echo Slam has arrived from Snakeo, hitting on Solo. The wall, and then he blinked into it with the double stun from Mag. It's a double kill for Solo because
They can't take a fight.
Has to be fighting every single fight. He's always got a haste rune. And they got Partius around the corner. They can see him. The cooldown's on the way, but it's in a non-factor area. At the same time, the fight's been completely split up. Denny's already got the double kill with that Sonic Wave. They move. Again, it's an isolated SF, just ripping into him. He's trying to pull away from the free wave. If he needs to commit the Omni-Slash, he can do so, but it's not required. Switch on the Mask of Mass, and now Solo TP'd up to try and control him. The Glimpse won't work because Omni-Slash does better. Mopping up that Disruptor, and even part.
Just setting Mag back, it just jumpstart Havost to that ridiculous start of having a very early Mask of Madness into Saint Yasha into taking Roshan and then taking control of the map. That's the best that a support can do in the safe lane.
It really was, and his movement all across the map. Like I know a few boys agree, but for me, like the best thing about that for Na'Vi was their rotations were always on point. It wasn't just one kill, wait 10 minutes. It was one kill, then one kill, then one kill, then one kill. The pressure was always on Vega.
That's kind of one of the weaknesses, though. We talked about the Shadow Fiend, for example, in the Queen matchup, and you have the rotating Shaker coming in. It's very difficult for Shadow Fiend to deal with that. So if there's not already a support in position, it's very easy to just be able to get that for free and then just go back to whatever you were doing.
Yeah, I think the one thing, the Seneko definitely played really well, but one of the best things that I read about him was just the fact that, yeah, he had some good Echo Slams and everything else, but it's not always about hitting the 5-man Echo Slams, right? Like, sometimes it's about setting up the rotations, and, like, him sitting on the side of the trees and being able to get that initiation on the SF and that top Tier 2 fight was obviously a huge factor. I think there were multiple instances where Seneko just had really strong reads about where to be in order to find that clutch initiation, even if it is just a one-man Echo Slam. It sets up your team for total success, and you know, Na'Vi definitely looking really strong. I mean, that's another prediction down the drain there, Toby.
It is. Mine's actually out the window. What were you looking at on the stats board?
No, there was that thing
fissure
on the bottom that said fissure, and it was like Sonico, you know, like the chat fissure. People just put it down there, and it's just like the straight line. I thought it was kind of funny. This game for me, though, was interesting because Na'Vi clearly were ahead for a very long period of time, but it wasn't as if Vega couldn't do anything, right? Because even at the end of the game, the net worths are relatively even. When he died and bought back, that's pretty much where they lost the game for the Shadow Fiend. When he died top lane, they get a reinitiation, he TPs back into the tier 2, they get a handful of kills, but as soon as he gets picked off one more time, like you can't let yourself get picked. Like you cannot do that in that situation, and Mag kind of did the same thing. He had no buyback. He goes YOLO, Vendetta's Sonico inside the woods because he sees like the weave was on him like what, like 20 stacks or something? He like one-shots him like, okay, that's a good kill. And then he just straight up dies, and the Shadow Fiend dies. And then you just lose because you have two heroes without buyback.
And isn't that what we agreed upon? That Na'Vi and Vega Squadron, they might be able to end up being a little bit even when it comes to early and mid game, but when it comes to later on to the game, the experience rates really starts kicking into play, or perhaps the lack of experience in this case for Vega Squadron, making very critical and just game-changing mistakes like that.
Yeah, I agree. The thing that was really heartbreaking was Mag had finished his Aghanims at around 37 minutes in, and he had Blink. So there's already clear high ground defense potential from that hero just because of Aghanims. You just spam mana burns and you spam stuns, and then the team actually just can't end the game. So all they needed to do was sit inside of their base, at least long enough to where Shadow Fiend had buyback, and then you could just say, okay, well, we take a team fight when Na'Vi comes high ground, or if we can test Roche, at least we know we don't just straight up lose from one hero pick. I think it was a very uncommon mistake for teams to make, to have that particular thing happen.
And with that, now brings Na'Vi just one game away from winning the TI European qualifier and getting that direct slot into the 16 teams that are going to be there. Hope you guys will join us for game number 4. We're going to have a short break, and we'll be back with Vega versus Na'Vi. Game 4.